Hey, look who's back.
It's me, I'm back. I can't even push this bike on my lift. I'm so freaking sore still.
Are you serious?
Yeah, give me a push.
Got a special delivery.
Yeah, you folks may remember last September I built this bike. It made 50% more power. Remember that? It went from 30 to 45. And a few of you people said that we ought to put this head pipe on there. So today's the day. We're going to see if it amounts to anything. So XR's only if they give us one, but they decline. So we're going to see if it does anything at all. Maybe that's why they didn't want to send us one. We'll see. We're going to go see if this does anything.
What do you got, Jeff?
All right, so we're going to do a base run on this before we install this header pipe. Because remember, last year we were done with it. It made 45 and change for power. We're going to see what it makes. This is 6 months later. I'm back on the scene. Let's see what she's got now.
Jeff's back on the scene. Okay, so it's making 45.88 horsepower. Now we'll swap out this pipe real quick and see if it amounts to anything. Now that the pipe's nice and hot.
So I'm using my jacket for a rag.
My buddy Tim's dropping off his XR650. So this was a full restoration using OEM components.
Yeah, I went through the whole thing.
Before, these are the two fuel to air curves. They're almost exactly the same. So I know that this will not tighten up. I can lean out the mid-range and probably tighten this fuel to air up and tighten this up a little bit. This is not going to go away. I can tell just by looking at this fuel to air that they're both the same pretty much. You know, it's just...
What'd it do?
Well, it's making 46 and a half.
Guys, sometimes we have to report news that's not so appealing for our vendors, and Al Baker's not gonna like this.
So, I mean, the head pipe versus XR's only pipe, the stock pipe performs better down low and in the mid-range.
Which is where you ride these things.
Which is where you ride it. I can tell by riding the bike, it doesn't jerk the front end off the ground.
You can't ride wheelies as easy.
Yeah, right. So, I mean, see this blue line way up here? That was with the stock head pipe. Now with the XR's only pipe, we've lost 5 horsepower right here.
That's massive. You lost 10% of your horsepower in the mid-range.
It carries it way further than the stock header, but I'd rather have the power down here than way up here, because we're not drag racing this thing. We're riding it in the woods and stuff like that. So
if you were running the Baja Peninsula at 90 miles an hour wide open, this might be a better pipe. Or if you're going to race it on the street or drag race it, this might be an improvement.
Yeah,
but for someone
like
who's going to ride it like we do,
yeah,
which is as a daily rider, or you're going to race it through the woods, the stock pipe's a better solution.
So basically, you're pushing the peak back from 6,200 RPM to 72, but it's the same peak. And who the f is revving their XR650 to 7,500 RPM? I don't think anybody. I don't think that.
It sounds like it's going to blow up when you rev it that high, to be honest with you. So the pipe is a total fail all the way across the board up until you get to red line. And nobody rides an XR like that. And if you do, you probably should sell it.
We gave the benefit of the doubt. I spent an extra 2 hours changing the jetting to see if I could get it as good as the stock one, and I couldn't. So, and I, you know, we're reading the fuel to air over here. So,
and for a few different reasons, it also has a heat protector on it, which is going to keep you will burn your leg on this pipe. There's no doubt you're going to burn your pants off on this. Take a look. Now, what are the pluses of this pipe? Well, it looks cool, and it produces a little more horsepower up top, but it's probably going to cause you to burn your leg. It's $300 plus labor to mount it.
So you can build these bikes like the way we did it, but it's not necessary to spend the extra $300 for a head pipe.
The less than a horse gain is negligible.
So the hammer of truth and justice says no go. on the XR's only head pipe. Sorry guys, and sorry it took us so long to get this to you, but Jeff was in Florida. We called XR's only earlier today. We spent the whole day, Jeff spent the entire day on this thing. For the most part, dyno running it, dyno tuning it, trying different jetting. We called them and said, we lost 5 horsepower. How can it be that the pipe that you're advertising on the internet down 5 horsepower? And they're like, well, what did you put for jets in it? And they made a recommendation on the jetting. So we changed the jetting to their specification on their whole kit, and it's still down 5 horsepower. You gain 1 horsepower way up near red line, but we're down 5 in the meat of the range. So it's not a good pipe. We're taking the pipe off. We're going back to stock. It has the heat shield, much better torque, and 5 horsepower more. And it's $300 less. So
what we're seeing is we're sacrificing everything down low for really
negligible gain up top.
Well, there is no gain up top. Just pushing back the power curve.
Right there. Click right there, Jeff. So you go from 40 to 44.79.
Yeah.
30.
I mean, the low ends, the whole low end and mid-range is dead.
The blue line is stock.
It's a top-end pipe. We don't need it.
This is a 4-stroke. It's a 4-stroke thumper. When you say top-end, Jeff, what RPM are you at in the upper top end? Where does it start? Where is it anywhere better than the stock pipe? Just to give them the benefit of the doubt. Yeah, it looks cool. Unfortunately, you're going to burn your leg badly with this pipe if you're wearing jeans or something and you're riding it around town, unless you have a full leather boot on or leathers. I don't think I've ever revved my XR to 8,000. I can promise you I haven't. That's not where you ride these things. You ride them in the meat of the power band. Am I correct? Per their spec, a 147 main and what was it,
22.5 pilot, yeah. So
per XR only's spec. I don't know, do the guys who make these pipes, do they have access to a dyno jet? Do they run a dyno and say, okay, we're building a pipe and it's losing power, maybe we should change it, or just build it and sell it to the public and hope they don't have a dyno? I don't know, guys, but we got one. Reporting live from Rockville, Connecticut.